G'day everyone, Mick Frawley here. Today we're going to talk about some engineering stuff. Some really important things that I think anyone that's on their path, whether you're starting to become an engineer or you're in your studies or you're graduated and you have a job as an engineer, something I want to help put out there that I don't think everyone knows, but I feel like the further along you go in your career as an engineer, you just realize is an obvious thing. So for everyone out there on the start of their journey, really key points I want to bring up about engineering to help you continue to do it is, one, engineering is hard. Two, it's supposed to be hard. And three, it's hard for everyone. If you can remember those things at the worst points in your studies or making stuff or in your career, that's really going to help you to get over some of these hurdles that we all get stuck in sometimes, where you can't design something or the numbers aren't working out or the analysis or whatever it is. There's a bunch of different reasons why you could be in this spot where you just think, I shouldn't be doing this. Why am I here? I can't figure this thing out. I'm never going to figure this thing out. It's a really crap way to feel. But we've all felt like that. As an engineer, I've talked to tons of other engineers, and everyone gets to that point somewhere in your studies, in your work, in whatever, where you just hit a wall and you just go, I can't do it. I don't know what this is. I don't know how to get over it. I'm never going to get it. And it really sucks. The other crap part is, well, kind of crap, kind of good, is that it's normal to feel like that sometimes along the journey. When you start feeling like that, when you're making something and it starts going wrong, or you don't know how to do it, or there's a bunch of different things that you just don't think you can get over, remembering that this stuff is hard. It takes a lot of practice and work to get even remotely good at it. And it's something that people do for their entire lives. I mean, I will never stop making things, ever. For the rest of my life, I will, with the abilities that I have, as much as I'm able to, I will continue to make things for the rest of my life because I just love doing it. But you run into things sometimes along that way, whether you're studying how to learn or studying how to build things or how to learn about more things, or you're actually doing it, you're going to reach these points where it just doesn't make sense and you just can't get past it, and it sucks. But like I said, remembering that it's hard, it's supposed to be hard, and it's hard for everyone is really going to help get you over those hills where you just feel like you need to turn around and go back. So let's try to talk about it a bit more. First one, it's hard. Jesus Christ. It's one of the hardest degrees that you can get at uni or college. There are so many different factors. It's the math, it's the programming, it's all factors of STEM that you're doing in these degrees. There's a bunch of different, obviously, types of engineering degrees. Each one of them have their own incredibly hard parts of it. There are some easy parts. I mean, easy is kind of relative, but easier than the hard parts, I guess. I found the maths really easy. I love doing math. I love just sitting there, just banging out equations. So calculus, linear algebra, differential equations, not easy, but enjoyable. I enjoyed it, and so it was worth putting time into doing those things. Other people I was at college with didn't like doing it, and it was kind of hard for them, but they worked really hard and they got over it. The point I'm trying to make is these things aren't just like Lego. Let's look at Lego for an example. If you're even remotely interested in engineering, you like Lego. Let's just face it. It's so much fun. I still love doing Lego at the moment. If I get a kit or if one of my kids has a kit, I'll be trying to take over it because it's just so much fun to put that thing together. Lego's sort of step by step. Here's this piece, it goes into that. Here's this piece, it goes onto that. It's really great instructions. They're really cool things to make, but it's kind of just sort of like this. You're just following these steps, which is great. It's still easy to make mistakes sometimes, but for the most part, you're just sort of following these things. Engineering is not exactly like that. You're presented with things that you have never understood before. You're given, say, take thermodynamics, for example, handful of equations that you can split apart and use to solve a bunch of different things, but you have to know what all the equations mean. You have to know how to change them and how you can take this and do something else with it to get a different equation to solve a different problem. I'm kind of rambling, but the bigger point is you're being presented with things that you've never even known before, and you shouldn't be expecting yourself to instantly pick up these incredibly hard concepts the first time you hear them, the second time you hear them, the third time you hear them. They are very hard things to understand. I'm not going to say one thing specifically, except thermodynamics, like I was talking about, but there are so many different factors of it, and you might be struggling with one of them, and you might be able to completely understand fully a different class's instructions and how all that stuff comes together. And that's really cool. That's where you can help your other students to understand the way that you do, and you can rely on your other students to help you out when there's things that you don't understand that they might understand a little bit better. the point I'm getting at is, don't come into this thing thinking that it's like Lego, that you're just going to go click, 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 and then at the end of it, I'm an engineer. It takes so much work, and it's so individual as to your life experiences and how you might understand one thing better than something else. But you shouldn't be expecting to understand everything like that, which can be tricky because, I mean, let's just say it. If you're an engineer or you're trying to be an engineer, at the very least, like, you're pretty clever. You like puzzles, you like understanding how things work. You have to have a level of humility. You're probably pretty clever. You're probably used to doing things that most people find not easy. You can do them very easily. And that's awesome because you've put in work to understand how puzzles and things work. And that's really cool. But when you're like that for a little while and you sort of are good at solving problems that most people have problems with, and then you actually get to, maths and engineering and physics and that sort of stuff, and you realize, oh, I don't understand this stuff at all. Maybe it's just me. It's not. It's just how hard this stuff is and how much harder it is than the stuff that you're used to. So trying to remember that, trying to keep that in your head, that this is so much harder and I just have to be okay with that, and okay with putting in time to get more familiar with it and to get better at it. The second thing is, it's supposed to be hard. I mean, yeah, obviously, like a building, a car, a rocket, a Mars rover, all of these things are incredibly hard things to build. Like they're obviously, that should be tantamount. You can't just do these things, I mean, especially when you're sending something into space. There are so many factors that just come into it that you don't have to consider with anything else that is built and staying on Earth, obviously. We can't usually repair things that go out into space. It has to work the first time, every single time. There has to be redundancies. What if the main thing doesn't work? You have to have a workaround, or you have to have a way to still have the mission objective be completed if one of the key components goes wrong. You have to have things in there so that if it doesn't work the first time, there's other ways to get it to work, or there's things that that you can get around with. And not just rockets, not just rovers, not just things like that take that level of complexity. There are so many things out there that just, man, you cannot fully appreciate the level of things that you need to know in order to build something until you've been in there. It's why conspiracy theories sort of are rampant, because people think that the way they understand things is the way that other systems work, and it's just not. There's just so much complexity in there. So it's supposed to be hard because they're hard things to do. You don't have to do them. Again, if you don't want to be an engineer, don't think that I'm saying you have to be. We do need more engineers. And if you are even remotely curious about how things work and you like puzzles and you like maths, you should be an engineer. It's the best career that you could possibly have, to do those things at the highest level and to be fulfilled to a point where it's just enjoyable to go to work. That's how I feel as an engineer, going in every day to do my job, where I know I'm making contributions and I know that I'm helping things out to get forward, while at the same time fulfilling just problem solving and all that sort of cool stuff that you get to do as an engineer. It's supposed to be hard. Third thing, it's hard for everyone. It really is. And I know it's easy to look at other people, because I went to college with people that were brilliant. There was a couple of people, and it was just great seeing. Like, it was like, you see those strong men lifting up giant things, and it's just a marvel of strength that they've got to that point that they're that strong that they can do that. It's like some of these people that you meet in college or around here and there, that they just get it. They just see a situation, they understand the problem, they get it. Even those people struggle every now and then. It's just, like I said, it's one of the hardest degrees that you can do. So when you're doing it, it's just going to be hard for everyone. You're going to see people at different levels of struggle going through these things. And you got to, wherever you are able to help people in this situation, I implore you to do it. Like, I try to do things. When I was in college, like I was saying earlier, if I didn't understand something, I'd rely on my mates at college to help me out with it. If they didn't understand something, I'm doing study sessions. I'm getting through it with them until they understand it as well as I do. But understanding that everyone's going through the same thing that you are when you're in that situation. And also just in general, that we're all going through struggles. There might be different levels of struggle and how much you're struggling or how big and serious the problem is, but we're still going through the same situations where this thing is really hard. And I know it's supposed to be hard, so that it's usually not going to be an easy solution. It's usually going to be a lot of work and a lot of analysis and a lot of iterations of designs or concepts or that kind of thing. And then that you're working with people who are also struggling occasionally with tasks because of how complex it is. But knowing those three things is really going to help you get over one of the biggest, not curses, but one of the hardest hills to get over in engineering, imposter syndrome. Just getting to a point where you're making something or you're doing something, you're studying something, and then you just go, I shouldn't be here. This isn't me. I don't even know why I'm here. I'll never be able to do this. It sucks. It's a really crap feeling to think like that. It sucks also that it's kind of normal to think like that when you're in these kind of situations where you just feel so out of your depth to think, I shouldn't be here. That as well is another normal thing. But remembering those three things, it's hard, it's supposed to be hard, it's hard for everyone, is going to help get you over those hills, realizing that, oh, no, it's not me. I'm not the one that can't get it. It's just that this situation is really hard. What do I need to do about it? Problem solving. I'm going to make another video about problem solving because I think that is one of the most crucial and not fascinating, but very interesting parts of engineering is problem solving. Your job's just problem solving. It's so many different kinds of problems to solve across all facets of engineering, but it's just problem solving at the end of the day. And the better you are at different types of, the better you are at understanding how to solve different kinds of problems, the better engineer you're going to be. The better you are at understanding a problem, and even if you can't solve it, just trying to understand like the perimeter of the problem. Like, where does it end? What does it affect? How many things is going to happen if I do this, or if I don't do this? What's going to happen if I change this? That kind of thing. So understanding how to problem solve and how to go through sort of a checklist of things that you want to do in order to solve a problem to help you get to the answer is a huge help for that too. So I'm going to talk about that next time. But please, if you're on your journey to studying engineering, if you're through it, if you're in it, if you're working in the industry, awesome. It's hard. Know that it's hard. It's supposed to be hard because it's awesome. Nothing in this life worth having comes easy, especially engineering degrees. So the harder it is just proves to you how much more worthwhile it is. That's not always the case in every single thing, but in this specific instance, working harder at an engineering degree is going to pay off for how well you're going to feel when you have it and when you're doing it as your career. And being able to help other people in the field to solve problems that they can't solve so that they can help you with problems later on is just an awesome feeling. So if you're out there, keep going with it. I know you can do it. You just got to put a little bit more into it and just give it a little bit more time and you're going to get there. Anyway, mate, have a great one. Good luck studying, good luck working, and I'll talk to you next time.